Hey everyone, on today's episode, I have a top producer. I have a rock star who sold 10 million in sales volume in just the first year in the business. If you're interested in growing your business as a real estate agent, you want to listen to this episode for sure. You could be competing against the guy who lost 5 houses and he's notorious.
Yes.
He's going to use all the terms and he's going to be coming in strong. You want that house?
Yes.
This is what they will be using.
Also, I notice when you do appraisal gap, it's good to show that money too.
Sometimes price don't matter. The appraisal gap now is in play. So Carolina, thanks for joining me today.
Oh, thank you for inviting me, Oleg. We were supposed to have a podcast a couple months ago, but I had an emergency and I couldn't. So I'm glad I'm here.
Our room was still under construction. We were going to do it at a different zone, but now this one's ready. We scheduled it again.
And you know what? It works out perfectly because I'm amazed with the designs and office what you've done here. I mean,
we spent a lot of thoughts and a lot of money too, and but I'm enjoying it. Agents enjoying it. So this is why we did it. And Carlos always asked me, I need a dedicated room for podcasts. I need my room. So he has his own desk. He's got all his own cameras now. He's like a little kid behind the screen enjoying his work. A little bit about yourself.
Yes.
Just so they know.
I'm Carolina Klenowski. I came to United States when I was 17. I speak fluent Polish and English, as you can tell, right?
Yeah.
I do have an accent, but I guess people love accent, okay?
Of course.
Since I came to United States, obviously the first thing that I had to do, learn English, right? Because I only spoke Polish and German. So I had no idea.
Oh, you speak German too?
A little bit. I don't remember much, but that's what we were actually learning in Poland. So honestly, it was very difficult for me because I didn't even know what "how are you" means, okay? To be honest.
Wow, really?
Yes, it was very tough for me. I've never had any connections with English, okay? So I hate it. I'm like, why did I came here?
At 17 years old.
At 17, I was very good student in Poland. I was very motivated. I wanted to be a teacher, okay? I've already had plans. I knew which college I want to go to. And here I am. Of course, that's what you do for your family, right? First 2 years were difficult, okay? I have 3 sisters. We all wanted to kind of buy tickets behind our parents' back and move back to Poland, okay?
Ah, really?
Gladly, mom actually found out and she didn't allow us. And I'm actually happy that it happened.
At 17, you were doing, like, you could buy a ticket and move back?
No, when you're a teenager, you think you're adult, okay?
Right. Of course.
You can do anything with you, okay?
You know everything, you're smarter. Yeah, for sure.
That's your mindset at the age of 17, okay? 2 of my sisters are in medical field, so they were kind of pushing me into medical field. And I took some business classes in the beginning at community college because I've always wanted to be dressed up nicely in suit, and I've always been around people. All of my sisters and everybody said, you like to be around people. But again, so I got into a dental hygienist school. And the moment when I got into a dental hygienist school, at that moment I told my husband, this is not something that I really wanted to do. And you know why?
Why?
Because I would be not able to talk to my patients.
Why not? Oh, because that's right, because you're doing their teeth.
I said, I'm going to be miserable with my job.
Oh, right. Well,
I realized that
you can talk to assistants at that point, at that moment.
That's not enough.
You need new connections.
New connections.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, wow.
Yeah. So that's it was a very hard decision, especially I got into this.
Did you spend money going through the college?
Through the college, yes, because I had to do all the pre-classes until you get into a dental hygienist, right? But I decided this is the right thing, and that's not what I wanted to do. When COVID hit, I was staying home with a 3-month-old baby, and I'm like, this is a perfect time for me to do real estate, right?
In 3 months, it's not a perfect time.
3-month-old baby. I mean, what the baby do, right? Only sleeps and eats. So I did my school within 3 months. I passed my exam right away.
First try?
First try.
Nice.
Yes.
So you passed the test and then you kind of waited a little bit? Was there a waiting period?
The school was a little bit longer.
Oh, longer.
I mean,
Gotcha.
I would say he was 3 months old. By the time he was 1 year old, that's when I become I exactly remember when I become a real estate agent because his birthday is on September 22nd, and exactly I become a real estate agent 2020, actually September 19th. That's when I joined the company, actually. I'm sorry. So I think I passed the exam sooner.
It was after the COVID lockdown, and the market was slowly starting to pick up at that moment.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember what I was doing at that moment too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a challenge, okay?
Yeah.
And again, you have no idea about anything, right? I mean, appraisal gap.
You got trained? Were you trained?
I've had help. I cannot complain. I'm this type of person who, if I don't know something, I'm gonna study this. I remember days when I was listening to YouTube constantly, reading books, watching top agents actually, following top agents through Instagram, to social media, and whatever they were doing, I was just reading their posts and everything, because that's how you study, right?
Yeah.
So this is why I'm a huge believer of attending events, talking to another real estate agent, because you learned from each other. I was with the smaller boutique the first year, and luckily I've closed about 10 millions in volume.
In your first year, 10 millions.
Yes.
This is unheard of. How can you close 10 million in first year? I sold. It took me 8 months to sell my own place.
Okay.
To buy myself a condo for 80,000.
Okay.
And then I had a friend who bought $100,000 condo with me. That was my first 8 months. So it's a $200,000 deal that I did. that I did. And then next year I did 16 deals, but it was, I think, maybe 3 million or something.
Okay.
You did 10 million in volume in the first year.
And honestly, I was shocked as you are. Because I never count numbers. That's the problem. Good.
Where did your client? Where did they come from?
Okay, so that's what I want to kind of explain. So when I started real estate, I was reading magazines and things about real estate, how long it takes for real estate agent to become successful. So that's what I thought. But again, I know my work ethics, okay? So if I do something, I do it, okay? Real estate was my full-time job, so I have to do it full-time job. So I wasn't waiting at home for somebody to call me. I knew I had to go after them, after clients, okay? Social media, 100%. Social media.
You started doing social right away?
Right away.
Were you doing social before that?
I've had, so it's funny thing is, actually it's funny. My sister one time mentioned, she called me and she said, "You're too nice to people." Because I've always been nice to people. And she always say, "You've been, complimenting them. Like, isn't it too much that you've been complimenting people?" And I said, "This is my personality. That's who I am. I cannot hide who I am." And it's funny, when I become a real estate agent, and then when I become more and more successful, I told my sister, "See, it paid me back, because people knew I'm not a fake person who is now complimenting people and, trying to get attention. People knew me and remembered me from not being a real estate agent and still being the same person, okay? So that's what I think it kind of helped me too. But again, you cannot be a secret agent, right? You cannot be a secret agent.
I got a video on that topic on my YouTube channel. No matter how good of an agent you are, if you're not marketing yourself and you're not screaming from the top of the mountain that you're the most successful real estate agent on the planet, you're a secret agent. Nobody knows about you. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows if you're good or not. You're going to be good to one person. You did a great deal. You did a great care. And that's the most important thing in the real estate transaction, is to take care of your client. Is to make sure that they're a lifelong relationship and that's your referral partner. But this is not enough to be successful. You have to scream about your success. You have to do a bunch of posts, a bunch of videos. I sold, I under contract, this is what I did, this is what I learned, blah, 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 then educational videos. The missing piece, when I got into the business, I was wondering why this person is only doing 30 deals. This is amazing agent. They could have been doing 500 deals. And the problem was they weren't marketing themselves enough. And that's what you need to be doing. You have to be providing great service, but you also have to market yourself. Because do you want to be a secret agent? Secret agents are poor.
Yeah, so it's like a doctor, right? I mean, you're a doctor, you paid so much money for school, and I give them a whole respect and credit for it. You've learned so much, but once you finish, get your diploma, honestly, you don't know what to do, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't really teach you much in school besides...
I think you start assisting somebody, you start kind of helping, and then you slowly get... But that takes a lot of time.
Yes.
And a lot of money.
Yes.
And a lot of, debt.
Exactly.
To get to that point. In real estate, you can make it much faster.
Exactly.
But no, not everybody can do it.
Yes.
Or maybe everybody can do it. But
in real
they
estate?
don't. Yeah.
No, I don't think everybody can do it.
But you know what? When I started in the business, I was shy as you can get.
Okay.
Completely shy. I even tell you a story. One time I got my license. The agent from the office asked me, "Can you open the door for my buyers? I'm out of town. Just open them the door. They need the inspector to come in and see the repairs, how much it's going to cost." So I went there, I opened the door, and I left them. So I opened the door and went in the car to wait for them to finish and be in the house and do the stuff. So they walked out. I came in, locked the door, and left. So I didn't even like make a connection, stay there, ask what. I was like shy because I thought, oh, these buyers already probably tired of Realtor, so I don't want to be another one. Just
Okay.
like if I saw myself back then, I would say this guy's never gonna make anything. So I was that shy.
Gotcha. So maybe you still didn't know what you really wanted to do in your life until you open up yourself. I don't know.
Yeah, but I kind of felt like this is I want to do it. You know, I felt like, but I was had to break through my shyness.
Exactly. Because I say, if you like to deal with people, okay, because a lot of people thinks we open the door, show up at the closing, and collect so much money. But in reality, we are going through so much stress. Sleepless night. You probably remember this until today,
you
right?
wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I think they're gonna cancel this one.
Yes.
I have a bad feeling about this deal.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. And
Or I should have probably submitted proof of funds because I want to win this one. And my clients really want to win this offer. And I should have maybe signed appraisal addendum. Let me call my clients at 7 a.m. in the morning and tell them maybe we can do appraisal addendum to win the house.
Yes.
You're like, this just walks with you, lives with you, sleeps with you.
100%.
Real estate is all around you.
So much stress. Exactly. So much stress. That's what I say. And it's so I would say it's almost for everybody, but to those people who can handle stress. Because, and you cannot take that stress 100% with you and bring it home, okay? You have to put the stress on the side and be there for your family, okay? Because it's gonna kill you.
So in your first year, did you have your friends buy with somebody else?
Until today.
Yeah, that hurts.
A lot.
But you still did like 10 million your first year, so you were okay probably, you know? But I remember my first year, I had a friend who bought with somebody else. It was kind of a friend of a friend, so
yeah.
I kind of like, oh, that was like deep. It hurt so much. And right now, like all of my friends bought with me. All my friends sold with me. But friends of friends, sometimes I see that they're, you know, they could use somebody else. It doesn't bother that much anymore.
Yes.
Like there's so much opportunities. The world is abundant. There's a lot of deals for everybody. But I remember the first ones. Oh, it hurt. Like they don't believe you good yet. They don't trust you yet. You know.
100%.
They don't think you can do it yet. They think you were doing this. Something else before, and now you're real estate. Okay, tomorrow you're gonna be somewhere else. You're like, yeah, let us see if you can do it. But yeah, that's what in the beginning happens.
It does, and I don't blame them.
Yeah,
it's a normal process. When I started working with a smaller company, boutique, I felt like I think I took advantage of actually that, and I was constantly telling my clients if they ask me a question, I said, don't worry, we will get you an answer. I've always not used only myself, but the third party, okay?
Sure.
Honestly, I didn't even know I was on the team, but I was on the team.
So you had somebody who was kind of guiding you, mentoring you.
Yes.
Were they helping you with some business leads?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I cannot complain. But I've done about 80% through my sphere of influence, 75 to 80% through my first sphere of influence, the first year. But again, you cannot compare to me to somebody else. It really depends on how many friends you have, how many family members you have.
The foundation that you're coming in with.
Exactly.
So you had a lot of friends, you had a lot of people that know you and you know.
Yes. I was participating a lot in daughter's activities. When she was in Polish school, I was helping a lot. When she was in dance classes, I was helping a lot. And that was before I became a real estate agent. So again, that helped me a lot. So I say, if I would be a person who doesn't have this foundation, okay, and I would want to start a real estate company, I'll definitely join a team, period.
You know, I started with zero foundation.
And
I knew a couple people. I wasn't really like big socially, but I decided to, okay, I'm committed. First months, I went into the radio.
Okay.
I signed up. I need to be on the radio.
Okay.
The guy looks at me and says, "You in real estate? I don't know you." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a real estate agent. You know, like confidence. You know, I'm a real estate agent." And he said, okay, let's do it. 6 months, every month, 7 a.m. you hear. I was shaking when that first radio show was.
But you see, that helped you kind of break the bridge, okay?
So I had to make a commitment, so I did the radio. And then I started making a bunch of cold calls.
Okay.
And then I figured out I should be doing video. My wife tells me, you should do a video.
Okay.
Look at the Facebook. You can get 1,000 views, this and that. And I started pushing myself, and I told one of the agents in my office, I told him, look, you doing these pop buys, you doing calling, asking for referrals. If you do a video, it reaches a bunch of people.
Okay.
And I keep telling. He says, oh, look, I'm tired of hearing from you. Just do a video. I'm already tired hearing that from you. I'm like, okay, I've heard that. Okay, so let me start doing something. And so I started making videos, and that thing just blew up. You know?
Okay, nice. See?
That was but my thing was Facebook.
Okay.
I didn't have Instagram. Like I had, but I wasn't using it. I was Facebook, horizontal videos, and I would share it to a bunch of Facebook groups.
Okay.
Non-stop sharing to Facebook groups.
So how long you've been in real estate?
2017 I started. The first 2 years were the toughest.
Wow.
I went through I burned all the savings. I used my credit card. I used like 25,000 worth of credit card funds. And then my dad shipped me some money from overseas, sent the wire.
Helped you.
So I used that, and then it slowly started to click, and finally, it was tough.
I mean, it was tough, but look where you achieved. I mean, this is wow.
Slowly, step by step.
I mean, there are people who've been in business 20-some years, and they didn't achieve as much as you did.
Yes, it depends on how much time you put into the job.
Okay.
You ask my wife, I can't even talk about anything else but the real estate. I'm only talking about, profit of the brokerage, how to generate the salary. It's nonstop. It's just nonstop. It's like I've been from day one. I'm in the office 8:30. 3-4 hours making cold calls, making content, listening to podcasts. I go to bed, wake up, driving, listening. It's just...
So you have the schedule set up, right?
Yes, it's always been. Right now it's a little bit different because now I'm kind of like building the office.
Okay.
So I'm not really as a single agent as when I was, but when I was an agent, I was making cold calls for 3 hours.
Okay.
First 3 hours. Then I would make content, and then... depends on what happens next. It could have been some showings, could be somewhere in the middle, and then listing appointments.
100%.
Which is about every morning. My goal was to wake up, make cold calls.
Okay.
To reach sellers, and I did some really amazing deal with
So
calls.
You do cold calls.
I still do them right now because we have trainings on Mondays for cold calls. I do them. Agents Zoom, connect through Zoom. I do the calls, and they watch, and they do them too. We kind of promote making calls here. But if you don't want to make calls, you do content. You have to do something.
100%.
We kind of push them to do something.
Everybody has their own schedule, and as long as it suits you well and it works out perfectly, and that you see that you're growing, that's okay. If you see that you're not growing, and there's something wrong that you do.
So your first year, 10 million. What did you do? How long you been in business? 4 years?
4 years, almost.
What did you do last year?
Good question. I don't remember, but I think it's about 15. Because I got into a top 2% from my company, and
on the sales volume.
Yes, on the sales volume, and I become a president circle. Which is supposed to be a huge thing. Again, I don't pay attention to numbers. That's the problem. And my husband thinks it's a problem because then, I just suspense easily. But
you feel like you're getting the flow of clients, your pipeline is full, your day is full. You kind of know that everything's on top.
And again, every deal just kind of makes you become better and better. When I joined a different company a year after I was with the smaller brokerage, that's when I was really by my own. Okay, and that's when I was kind of creating my own schedule. I was trying to figure out what to do to still keep growing and get the clients.
Social media has always been the place, right?
Social media, but again, as an agent, you've already have some clients on your database, and you keep just getting more. Okay, so everywhere that I go, I'm not a secret agent. I want to make sure everybody knows that I'm a real estate agent.
Do you get that when you go somewhere for like a birthday party or some gathering? Do you have people come up to you and start talking about real estate to you?
Yes.
Is it because they see you on social?
Yes, 100%.
It's just It's so easy.
You know, I actually was hosting an open house on Sunday, and this buyer came from Chicago, Garfield Ridge area,
Yeah.
where I didn't do as much deals out there. I'm not just sitting at open houses. I'm selling a product, okay? Because a lot of times I go to open houses and, you know, agents sits by their phone. Hi, welcome in.
Yeah, sign up.
in. Oh, okay, thank you. Bye-bye. And I always think to myself, really?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you sell the product? You go on Instagram, and now in Instagram they have your cart information, and I feel like they generating AI with Instagram where they kind of know what kind of clothes you like. And every time I open my Instagram, some nice outfit pop up, right? So they do a nice video of lady walking with nice suit. She looks great. And what do? You just swipe it and buy it, right? They do it. They did a great job. They sold the product to me, okay? So that's what you want to do with houses. You want to make sure you sell the house, no matter what type of house. Even if it needs work, even if it's ugly, you're doing best interest for your clients, and that's what you want to do. But going back to that lady, she goes, oh yeah, I've been, you know, selling houses in Chicago. You know,
She's a real estate agent.
She's not a real estate agent. She's a buyer. But I'm confident. So I'm telling her that I'm the top agent in Chicago, even though I am not out there. But I am confident about my business, right? Because overall, I've closed about 145 transactions together by myself. And she's like, wait a second, are you Carolina? And I'm like, how the heck this lady knows me? I said, yes. Oh, I seen you everywhere on social media.
Oh.
And I was like, yes, that's what I wanted to
And so
hear.
you see, and so is she like a customer or something? She's gonna do
No,
something?
she was just a buyer coming to an open house. She didn't know me. She didn't know my family. She was just the customer, okay? But she looked at me, and my face was very familiar. And she goes, wow, I seen your face everywhere. Nice. So that means that I've been promoting my clients' houses constantly. And guess what? It's not something that it does automatically. We have to constantly keep doing. Yeah. And what do? We do it for clients. We want to make sure everybody knows that their house is out there, and we're trying to best in our power to sell it. And
you might get a buyer from it too.
100%.
You might sell it.
100%.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, the people that your sphere that sees your job, what you're doing, they're gonna see, I want her to do it for me.
Yes, and everybody has their own way to.
Did you see my post when I climb on a car and take a picture in front of the house?
I love it. And that's
I just came out with it. I was just driving and I had a photo shoot day, and I'm like, maybe I should do something crazy. She's already, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna pull up and jump on the car, and then I have one more that I want to really do. In Chicago, I have 15 houses for sale, new construction.
You're on a jump from the 54th floor or something, no?
No, I have a big sign over there in front of it. It's like a big sign. It's high. So I want to climb on top of it and like spread my hands and like sold, or like 80% sold, 3 left for you, or something like that. And it's going to be risky. I know, because that thing is narrow, so for me to climb on it and then like look up,
oh no,
it's gonna be a risky thing, but I want to do it. I want to really do it.
Anything that you can do for real estate and for your client.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's what makes you unique. Because
it's gonna get a lot of likes. For sure, it's gonna get a lot of likes.
But you know what? If you like doing this, I feel like you should do with every listing, because that's how people's gonna remember you.
But it has to be also unique. Like I have to kind of come up with something. Like I did one. It was a long time ago. I did one in a remodeled condo. I walked into the bathroom. And I turned on the shower, and I'm like doing a picture, and I wasn't getting wet because I was going to the closing after that picture. But it was kind of an idea that I could do a little bit even better. Do you know, like these recent now Instagram posts when they, either it's a TikTok or Instagram, when they cut a fruit and there's a water spilling, and then so I want to do it in front of a new listing. I'm like, a lot of water. Like, hey, I got it coming up, 3-bedroom, 2 baths.
Me and my husband, we were actually laughing about it. We put our kids to sleep, and then we lay in our bed, and guess what? We talk to each other. Yeah. Keep sending each other reels.
Yeah. You know, you should do with your husband. I did it with my wife. The tortilla. You know, you put out water. Full mouth of water, and then.
If you do something that is unique for the seller, they notice this.
For sure.
100%.
My guy, it was a 900-ish house. I climb on, like, you saw it. He's like amazing.
Because you're doing a job, and they know you're investing your time,
Yes.
money, because it's a lot of time, okay, a lot of money. Social media, people don't even imagine how much time, money, and effort we spend for our clients.
Because it's all behind the scenes.
Yes, to bring the best results, and yeah. That's how it is nowadays. When I started real estate, I remember people, they were not doing as many videos. The videos started being more and more popular. So again, as I mentioned before, I was kind of watching like top producers. I was listening a lot, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not a shy person. I never been shy person. I said, I'm gonna do a video, okay? If I look at my first videos right now that I've done, I'm not gonna delay them because it's memory, but I did it, okay? I did something different than other real estate agent didn't do it. So I think a lot of attractive customers, they seen the value in me, okay? And that kind of helped me too, because every time I go for showing, they say, hey, what are you gonna do? Because I don't know if you noticed, but I not only sell house, I try to sell the subdivision, or I try to sell the village, okay? Because if I think about clients maybe out of state, people from north side, because majority of my business is suburbs, I want them to know that
why this suburb?
Why Homer Glen? It's my residence for agents who are starting the business, okay? Yeah. Listing appointments. I ask my managing broker every time she had listing appointment if I can go with her, even it was for free. Okay, agents who were doing open houses, every open house I wanted to do it. Okay, and I had a baby. Okay, but I'm like, that's how I'm gonna learn the best. Okay,
nice.
And so you wanna interact with other real estate agent and ask for help. Okay, because that's what's gonna help you, and you learn on your experience, right? Every deal shapes you. Every deal. It just makes you a better real estate agent.
But that's good. You were asking, hey, I want to come with you on the listing appointment. You know it's not going to make you money, but you are learning that skill. I want to see it.
Yeah.
How somebody else does.
My problem is, I guess I'm a workaholic.
Yeah.
And I know my work ethics.
Yeah.
So if I'm working, I'm treating real estate as a full-time job, leveraging my time, I'm balancing my time. But from Monday to Friday is a real estate, okay? I wake up in the morning, my kids go to school, I drop off my son to daycare, my daughter goes to school, and I'm doing real estate. I'm not waiting until somebody's gonna call me. I'm not waiting until, hopefully I'm gonna get a deal. I'm doing my work. So I have my list of my buyers on the board in front of my eyes.
In-house? At your home?
In my house, in my office. And I think about every possible buyer who asks me for a house every single day. Yeah. And I looked every day in the morning at the MLS for new, coming soon homes, and I do the same thing in the evening. So, and then that's how you interact with buyers. Even though you didn't hear about them long time ago, maybe you didn't talk to them for a year, but you see the house because you remember, okay? You see the house, 2-story house with the pool, and they really wanted to pool. That's how you interact with them. I'm not only selling them through MLS because a lot of buyers, they don't open up mail. If you look at my Gmail, you know how many Gmails I have unopened? I don't open it, okay, if I don't need to, okay? And I send them separately link, and I tell them, hey, I know we haven't talked about for a long time, but you need to remember I still think about you, and I think this house suits you perfect.
Amazing.
Boom.
And sometimes I would even call them, hey, nothing.
Yeah.
Just want to let you know, hey, I'm looking, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You want
maybe something changes in your, your search. Maybe hey, just wanted to talk to you. I thought about you on my way home or something.
And
I got nothing for you.
It makes them. They feel nice. They feel.
Oh, you thought about me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. So yeah.
Have you tried giving calls to those who bought a long time with you, the first calls?
That's what I should start doing because
they're so appreciative. When I started 3 years ago, I started calling the ones that bought 5 years ago.
Okay.
Because I think you're ready to maybe transition to something bigger. I don't want to miss you. I want to be the one who's I have the automated emails and everything. Mailers,
we do have
gift
it
cards,
too.
all that. But you still want to that, and they're like, "Oh, thanks for calling. You taking your time to call." They think you're a big shot or something busy on social. You got no time for nobody.
Yeah.
And you reach into them They're like, they can even call their spouse. Like, you know who called me today? It's amazing. You know, I'm so special.
Exactly. He still remembers
Because when,
about me.
as you like, you build up your social credit, you're like becoming more known. You're becoming like something that everybody knows you. And it becomes like, oh, she's too busy, maybe for me. And when you reach out, that's legit. You know, a long time ago, we bought 5 years ago, and you called me back. You know, it's like, it feels really good.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I would feel good if somebody would call me, if my real estate agent would call me.
If my dentist would have called me just like that, hey, how you doing? How's your teeth? Everything good? How's your smile? I got a good toothpaste I can recommend you.
Yeah.
You know, or like send me something in the mail, like. Usually when you need something, you reach out. They don't reach out.
Yeah, 100%.
Your car mechanics don't reach out. Your dentists don't reach out. Your doctors, lawyers, they don't reach out.
Dealership cars, they do.
Dealerships?
Yeah, cars.
Yeah, because they're salespeople.
Yeah,
That's all they do. They sell.
Yeah.
So they craft. Other businesses like contractors and everybody else, they're good in their craft, but they're not good salespeople.
Exactly. Yeah.
Car sales is sales only.
Yes.
There's no service. There's just the sales. There's no other craft. The craft is the sales.
Yeah.
So they have to be good at it. So I'm like, you know, I can tell you this. I can come into any like contractor business and make it much better just by you're missing referrals. You're missing, you know, you're touching clients. You're not following up with your previous clients. You know, you don't have any system for gifts and some other like staying in touch things. And you, after the estimate, you don't follow up. You just send the estimate and that's it.
Exactly.
I got people that send me estimates on garage doors, on garage floors, on this and that. And they just send an estimate.
And they don't follow up.
Yeah, in my office, I was redoing the bookshelf. I wanted to make a big bookshelf, nice wood. They gave me an estimate. I'm like, let's see if they call. Year and a half, they're not calling.
Wow. And you know, your expectation is for them to call you.
I am ready.
Yes.
You call me, I sign it.
Exactly. Yeah.
No?
Good point. Very good point.
It was not expensive. It's $3,000 to build a bookshelf.
But they didn't follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, they came in, 2 guys, did a nice presentation, no follow up. Yeah. I'm the ready buyer. I'll do it. If you call me, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna call you by myself because I'm like 50-50. But if you call me, I'm ready to go.
What do you think about new chances there's gonna be in?
Yeah. I think that the buyers until this point, since they didn't have to pay for agent, they didn't really dive deep enough into learning what the agent does for them.
Yes.
They're like, a lot of them still think that you just open doors. They don't know what you're doing behind the scenes. Depends on what kind of agents they were dealing with, of course. Now they're going to be learning a little bit more. So since I have to pay you $12,000, I want to really see what you're doing.
Yes.
And so it's going to come down to that. I don't think that a lot of agents should be counting on sellers paying the concessions, because some sellers might say, I have multiple offers, I don't have to pay it. And then the agents be like, okay, you have to know really how to talk to your buyers and educate them on the values. And I think that the conversations we need to have with our clients is that it's most likely going to be the same amount of money you pay to real estate agents. It's just going to be paid differently, because if you buy a property and sell the property, you don't pay when you buy, you pay when you sell.
Yes.
Until today, you pay 2 sides when you sell, you don't pay when you buy. Now, is it you pay when you buy, you pay when you sell?
Yes.
It's most likely going to be the same amount total over your lifetime. It's just becoming different on how you pay. It's going to be spread out evenly on each transaction, most likely. I still believe that most sellers will still offer.
100%.
Most, not all.
Yes, but there were still a lot of sellers who didn't offer, and they were able to offer 1%.
Yeah, it's going to be bumpy in the beginning, couple months. It's going to for sure eliminate a lot of agents.
It will.
For sure, because it used to be that we don't have to talk about how much money we make. Buyers don't care, and buyers agents don't share.
Yeah.
So it used to be like they don't even know how much you made until a closing, and some of them don't even know where to look because they don't have to care about it.
Yeah.
Now they will care about it. Now it has to be a conversation. It's more money out of pocket sometimes, and it's just going to create those who know what to say and those who know how to convey what they do and confident and have a brand. Will just be fine.
Yes.
Because also it's easier to get the listing too.
Oh yeah.
You have to only sell your listing commission, you know, to market and close the property for the seller. you will incentivize or explain why it makes sense to offer
Yes.
to the buyer's agent, because buyers a lot of times don't have the money to pay for their buyer's agent. And you used to have to negotiate a bigger commission and split with the other agent who brings the buyer. Now you talk about what your value is, and then you ask the seller, what do you want to offer to the other side. So on the listing side, it might be much easier than it was.
It will be definitely easier, but I feel like a lot of top agents who've been in the industry for quite a time and they knew how to negotiate the commission, I feel like they're still gonna still keep doing the same thing. My only concern is since they don't have to show on MLS.
Yeah. Are we gonna find out who's paying what? Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to one podcast the other day. Again, this is something new. Since I started real estate, it's all constantly every couple months something new. But again, it's shaped us. It helps us become a better agents, right?
Sure.
I was just listening to this podcast, and it was I don't remember the name of these people that I was listening to, but they said, okay. The only buyer compensation, you're not going to be able to disclose it on the MLS. So they think other companies, brokerages, right, they're going to have their own websites. And we actually do already have our own websites. And we even have our own link. Like, we have our own link. We don't share properties with our clients as Zillow or Redfin. We have our own. And they believe that we're going to be able to somehow put this commission, how much a seller pays to the buyer's agent, into these other sources, not the MLS.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I don't think it's possible. You know
think
why?
So?
Because the feed is from MLS.
Yes, I know it's from
MLS feed, and the DOJ is going to step in and say MLS means everything that takes the data from MLS.
Gotcha. But what about if you have your properties on your website and your company websites, and you are creating the websites?
It's probably feeding from the MLS. It's still IDX website that receives the feed from the MLS.
Okay.
Unless you're going to manually put in all the listings.
That's what I think. That might be an option.
Then I don't know. Yeah. It's still not finalized, but if it's most websites, all the websites you see online, they all are IDX.
Yes.
All accepting feed from the MLS and publishing the same data on their sites.
But when you provide MLS, listing into MLS, it asks you a question if you want them to sync those information or not, right?
But that information is not there, so you will have to manually upload that information.
So that's what they were talking about. They were talking that probably there is going to be some, again, nobody really knows how it's going to be. I really think buyers will just have to get used to, because again, buyer would like to see the house, and in order for the buyer see the house, the buyer would have to sign a buyer representation agreement, right? So let's see, buyer would now want to sign an agreement with me because, I in case seller would not pay compensation, buyer would have to pay me. But then buyer goes to another agent, and the agent say the same thing. Then it goes over and over and over, and then buyer realizes.
You know what's going to change is that one agent says my fee is X, and the other agent says my fee is X minus.
I know, that's the problem.
So they're going to be shopping like they're shopping for a listing agent.
Yes.
They're looking for a cheaper one.
So that's what
or
you do?
they're looking. You build your brand.
Exactly.
You become the best.
Yes.
You become somebody that I just want to buy with Carolina.
Yes.
Because she helped my friend. She was recommended 5 times to me. And I like what she does. And I think, I don't care. I'll pay because I think it's worth it.
Again.
Because sometimes you might be cutting on a commission, but then you're overpaying on some other stuff.
Yeah, 100%. But again, you asked me about how much I made, whatever, last year. I really exactly don't remember number. I really exactly don't remember number of units, because I just go with the flow. My priority is my clients, not the money. And this is who I am, okay? And I've made a good money. Thank God. I'm very blessed. But it didn't fall through the sky. I was working hard,
You feel like you're happy?
Oh, very happy.
That's good.
But what I'm trying to say, so again, I mentioned my clients are my priority. So when I have a client, I know how I sell my product. I don't only show them the house. I tell them if the house is worth amount of money or not. I run a good research for them, okay? After they tell me, they inquire about the house. I tell them I'm with them throughout the entire process. I've had a seller yesterday that I'm closing tomorrow, and they bought a house with me, okay? And he asked me yesterday, he said, Caroline, I want to make sure you get paid. I said, yeah, I mean, you signed the listing agreement. You have this documentation with you. He said, can you get paid the entire commission? And I said, no, it's divided between me and another agent. Oh, but you know what? You deserve that. And I'm like, really? I wish everybody could say this, okay? You need to listen to your clients and you need to understand what their needs. Mm-hmm. Their needs was that I am giving them update every other day. I knew this is what their needs was, and that's what I did. Mm-hmm. And I am, and I know I sold myself as a product, as a real estate agent very well, and I'm confident about it, okay? So I'm not gonna think negative about it. Obviously, when we find out about it, I was freaking out. I'm like, how it's gonna be, it's gonna change, we're gonna have to change the job and blah, 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 blah. But then I'm like, no. It will be okay. I know what I'm doing for my clients, and I'm still gonna be doing the same thing, and they just have to get used to like they get used to with their interest rates.
Yeah.
And be positive. Maybe it's gonna be harder by the end of the rate.
Same seller as the buyer.
Yes.
So if they save the money on paying the buyer's agent commission here,
okay,
you're gonna have to pay it there.
Okay.
I think it was much easier because if the buyer doesn't have to pay, it's easier for them to buy.
Yeah.
The easier it is to buy, the more buyers. The more buyers, more offers. More offers, more sellers. More price. Mm-hmm. So it's benefiting seller at the end of the day by incentivizing buyers to buy.
100%.
Plus, agents also promoting tenants to become buyers. Mm-hmm. Because the more tenants become buyers, the more business. And then it drives up the price as well. And that's benefiting the seller at the end of the day. The seller becomes also the buyer after they sell.
Yes.
It was all a great system, perfect system. And commissions were always negotiable.
Yes.
They weren't standard. And there was no, like, you have to pay.
Exactly.
I mean, if you go on at least one listing appointment, you know. You have to, and then the seller chooses somebody else.
Yeah.
No, there's no you have to. There's always negotiable commission. So, but it is what it is. Changes are changes, and it's good. It's a new reset button on the industry. The good ones grow, the bad ones disappear. And maybe we needed something to just shake up the industry just to make it better.
Yes, because again, our job is not easy, and maybe people think it's easy, but it's not easy. Okay.
Yeah, if real estate agents weren't important, then they would be wiped out a long time ago. Because there was a lot of inventions in the industry that were disruptive, like an internet, flat fee companies.
Yes.
There was a lot of things that were happening. iBuyers.
Yes.
There's always a change. There's always the new wave. This is the new way of doing business, but it's still, people use it, real estate agents. Even though they can find the property on their own, on Zillow, they can use an attorney to close it, but they still use the real estate agent.
They do, because as we talked at the beginning about it, they don't understand the entire process. For us, this is a different terminology. You go to doctor tells you in their language, you have no idea what the doctor tells you until the doctor explains you, right? Same thing with us. We talk about earnest money, we talk about contingency, and you probably...
What's the contingency?
Exactly. You run into it. Like you would tell your buyer, oh, they're asking for possession after closing.
Yeah.
Can you explain me what?
So what if they don't move out?
Yeah. I mean, can you tell me? This is why you need your real estate agent to kind of explain you. Like for us right now.
How do I make sure they don't sell the fridge when they move out?
Exactly. There was actually a reel about selling for sale by owner, and they said everything stays, but didn't mark that in the contract, and then they walk into a home and even the drywall was gone.
Wow.
It was just funny.
How do you balance real estate, showings, and being a mom?
It's not easy. It's not easy, but I do have to thank to my husband. Okay, my husband works until 3:00, so he's home after 3:00.
He's also in sales or no?
No, he's not in sales. He's in construction. He works for Turner Company. He's been with this company for about 17 years, and he has Sunday off. Works 6 days a week.
Till 3 p.m. and then he's home.
He's home.
Nice.
But again, my first year was crazy. Okay, and I remember my husband said, maybe it's better for you to just buy a bed and sleep in the office. It would be more beneficial for you. So I knew I had to kind of leverage my time. You have to set up expectation. You need to tell the seller they can expect from you and you can expect from them. So But
the brand new agents are, they're afraid of saying that, because if I set expectations, I might lose this client.
Yes. I mean, I was the same way.
Yeah, me too. But because when I started, me and my wife were dating.
Okay.
I got all the time in the world. I got 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Call me anytime, I'm ready. Just let's do some deal, you know?
Okay.
But since we got a first baby, now we have 2, things are like, I want my time. I want my evenings. I also want my weekends back. I want everything back, you know? I just want 9 to 4. And this is what I kind of have right now. Evenings I'm always home because I structured this way because I decided to make it happen.
Exactly. That's how you structure
But it comes also with confidence, with amount of clients you have, what kind of business you're running. In the beginning, I mean, if you have kids and you have family, it's going to be a little bit different. But if you're single or dating, like,
it's easier.
Just go.
It's easier.
Just do whatever the clients want. Just make them happy.
And they don't want to hear that you can do showing because you have something else with your child.
Yeah, I can't because I have to go to my birthday party.
No.
Okay, next agent, please.
Exactly. So the good thing is, you open up your own company, so you have a lot of agents who can, assist somebody else. And same thing we have with our company. Let's see, the other day my clients called because I'm also licensed in Indiana. And they called me and they said, we would like to see the house at 6:00. And I knew I can't because I have to be in my daughter's school. So what I did before I even get back to them, I quickly found a buyer who was willing to, new agent who wanted to make some money because obviously we have to pay them, we have to compensate them.
Sure.
And I said, listen, I have an appointment schedule.
Yeah.
But I already found for you somebody. Again, I had to pay, and maybe they didn't like these houses, but that's what you keep the clients, how you keep the clients.
You have to either pay them or you have to pay yourself. Because your time also worth something. When you're driving, we tend to not count it.
Yes.
Like, I'm driving, I'm showing, I'm coming back for free. No, not for free. It costs money because it costs your average dollar per hour worked shrinks because you worked on something that didn't produce results. You have to calculate your time too.
I bought a car 3 years ago and it's 120,000 miles. So.
Oh, you drive 40,000 a year.
Yes, that's a lot.
You drive a lot.
I drive a lot.
I used to drive 30. 30.
Okay.
And I thought I'm almost like I used to drive trucks before I got into real estate, and then I owned a little company that I sold everything. So I'm like, I'm almost driving a truck with this job, but it's just I'm driving a little car instead of a big semi.
But that just proves how much money we spend on it. And you know what's so funny? A lot of buyers, they don't understand that we don't get paid at showings.
Of course, some of them don't understand. That's
they
right.
Don't. They think,
you gotta tell them.
You gotta tell them. They don't. They think every time you do showings for them, you get paid. So again, education. You need to educate them, and you ask, how do I manage the time, right? Set up expectations. Right now, I try to take Thursdays off. So I get to spend some time with my younger son. And again, if I work Sunday, I try to not work on Saturday. And this is something that I set up, and I'm confident about it, and it actually works out. But again, during the week, if I have the entire weekend off, I work long hours from Monday to Friday.
What do you see yourself down the road? You want to do it until forever? What do you think?
This is funny what I'm going to say. Because my husband could retire at the age of 55, okay? And he always said...
He wants to retire at 55?
He could.
Oh, he could?
He could. But the thing is, he always tells me, with your spending, you're going to be working until 80. And I said, and I'm going to love it.
Because you swipe and buy all the time on Instagram.
No, it's not as crazy, okay? You're going to be working until 80, 90. I'm like, that's what's going to keep me living, okay? I met an agent the other day, and he said, when he was 65, he decided to go retire, okay? He said, within 1 week, I got a stroke, okay? And he said, it took me a year to get back to a shape. And he said, after then, I'm 75 years old and I'm still in real estate. That's what keeps me living. No, what do I see myself in the future? Obviously, a real estate agent. Definitely, as I mentioned, I like this job. And my problem is, I don't feel that I'm working. Yeah, 'cause, we are sitting here and talking. We are working, okay? Obviously, something that I want to invest into multi-units. This is something that's my goal.
Yeah, I was just gonna pivot to it.
Yes.
But you mentioned it
Yeah.
earlier.
I've been constantly looking, so
You gotta,
100%.
you gotta buy. Yeah, you gotta.
Yeah,
you
we've
gotta,
been-
because that's where that's where really when everything's said and done, and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore because things change too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm glad I didn't spend the money and I
Yes.
put it back into the market, and now I own this. Me and my wife, we always look back and like, from so far what we've done is we're so happy we bought investments. So happy.
Yeah.
It's the best thing we could have ever done.
Oh, yeah.
Better than opening the brokerage.
Yes.
Whatever you call everything that I've done, even better than becoming a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Was owning. That's the number one thing. Owning real estate.
Yes.
Then, it was a smart decision to become an agent. It was a smart decision to grow and build a brokerage.
Yes.
But it depends on who you ask, because it's not for everybody. Because I see also a lot of brokerages that don't grow, they stuck. That's a very bad position to be in. You better be a single agent for sure. That's where the money is. That's where you really make the money by being a single or a small team.
Or
but
small
if you're
team,
doing
yeah.
a brokerage, you gotta go far.
Yes.
It's the only it's a small margin volume type of business.
Yeah.
So, but being an agent, you can do a smaller amount of deals, and if you grow your volume, you're making really good money and having some time back.
Yeah, and that's what I say, even like first-time home buyers, especially the buyers that are very well qualified. I actually had a closing with one of my clients a month ago, and I said, Michael, what are you gonna do next? And he said, what do you mean? I mean, I just settled into an apartment. I said, you're young, you don't have wife yet, no kids yet. Your qualification allows you to purchase another unit and then another unit. And I'm like, we should sit down and I want to explain you. And I sit down with him and I explain. I said, listen, you should definitely invest into real estate. And he said, that's a good point. And he's actually reached out to me actually last week. And he said, I'm ready to purchase another unit. That's real estate. That's the money. So that's my goal, definitely. So when we both retire, we have multi-units. That's something that I'm looking forward.
Not even retire, because the real money that you're gonna make is by holding it and letting the loan get paid down.
Yes.
Rents go up, so your value of the building goes up. Now you have nice equity.
Yes.
You pay for your kids' college
Yes.
with that equity. That's your ATM machines. So it's really like, if you start looking deeper into it and being in owning real estate for 5-10 years at least, you start seeing like real money.
Good money,
real
yeah.
money, real good money. And it's like, I started with little condos for 40 grand, but some of them grew like 3x.
Okay.
And my loans are very low at
Okay.
this, but I bought them in 2017. Since day one I started buying.
Okay.
And I was lucky I bought some deals there where I had owner financing, done in there, so it was easy to step in.
Yeah.
I wish I had bought more, because in 2017
It's okay.
prices were like 50% of what it is
Everybody
now.
wished that. Trust
Yeah.
me. There were buyers who wished they paid way over asking price when the interest rates were lower.
Yeah, right now, like you tell the buyer,
Yeah.
hey, I want to buy it. Right now, it's 7.5. I mean,
Yeah.
it was 3. I know it was 3.
It was
It was
3. It
recently,
was
and then they
2 point-
always remember like, I should have bought. But yeah, but like, life moves on. Your kids will be buying in 2050, and whatever is going to be there, they cannot say I should have bought in 2022.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy it 2020. You weren't born.
Exactly.
So the ship is gone. Now let's deal with what's in front of us.
But about the interest rates, I always tell buyers, don't look at the interest rates, because you can always refinance. You need to feel comfortable with the payment. If you feel comfortable with
That's
the
right.
payment,
That's
as
right.
long, even though your payment is high, but if your financing situation allows you to and makes you comfortable, makes you feel comfortable to make this payment every month, just move forward as if you like the house, and then once the interest rate's gonna drop, you could always refinance. I've had buyers, sorry for interrupting, where they were jumping into a water.
Yeah.
Without
Hoping it goes up in price.
Without knowing how to swim, okay? So we were at the new construction. They said, yeah, let's sign it, this and that. And she said, your payment is gonna be about $7,000, and they're almost like about signing. And I know their financing situation. I'm like, hold on. You guys have to understand, you have other payments besides the house. I said, you guys need to go back home, sit down, talk to your wife. And this is what type of agent I am. I am honest. Because if I sell this product to them and then they're going to have hard time making monthly payment, what they're gonna do? They're never gonna get back to me because they're gonna be disappointed with me. I said, you need to think about your child, preschool. You need to think about your car payment, your car insurance payment, this and that. And I said, put those numbers on the paper and see if you're able to make the payment every month. And they called me the next day and they said, you are so right. I think we need to cut a little bit and $100,000. It makes us feel comfortable. And we're just so happy. You're not this type of agent who just, shaking hands and be like, oh, I'm going to get so much money paid. You were there for us. And we ended up buying a house, and they keep referring me to somebody because I built up a trust with them. And that's the important in real estate.
Yeah, and a lot of times also sometimes when I get for example, we write an offer on the buyer and then the seller and I feel like it's going to get accepted.
Okay.
I'll call the buyer before that and said, how are you feeling? What are you asking? I don't know, maybe you slept over it, maybe you changed your mind. How do you feel about it now? And I try to go deep, and then sometimes they say, no, don't worry. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, don't ask. Sometimes they get like not pissed, but they feel, they like, what are you asking? Whoa, no, come on, man. First of all, I wanted to check it for myself.
Exactly.
Because I don't want to go inspection and then cancel. That's number one. Number two, I want them to know that I care about how they feel, not about just a commission check. And third, I just want them to think about it one more time.
Yes.
There's 3 reasons why I asked that.
Because,
They might not be, sometimes spouses don't talk. And sometimes husbands at work, wife is making decisions. They don't really talk to each other. Sometimes at the showings, you're going to see that they are just discussing their needs in front of you. And sometimes they're arguing in front of you. They don't, I know you're not talking at home because she likes this, you don't like it. Why are we here? You know? Seems like she drags everybody and then you just show up because you're driving.
What are your thoughts about multiple offers, especially when the house goes on market? Hour later, it's multiple offers and highest and best is in the next 5 hours. What are your thoughts about it?
I mean, that's the environment we got to deal with.
They didn't think properly and they didn't have enough time to think about the house.
But what are you going to do? It's everywhere like that. What are you going to do?
I mean, you should give them more time. That's what I do. And I ended up with multiple offers too. I give everybody time to think.
Oh, you mean the listing agent should give more days for decision. I got you.
Yeah.
Because the listing agent's job is to serve the seller.
Yes.
And if you get a lot of offers coming in, the seller sometimes says, you don't need no more buyers, no more people in the door. And then they all keep calling nonstop. And the listing agent wants like, let's make a decision because my phone is blowing up. I can't live like this. And that's when they kind of, sometimes they do it too fast. Sometimes they're like in the morning and then in the evening it's gone.
Yeah.
That's a little bit too
Give
crazy.
it about 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Some people need to
update their pre-approvals.
Yes.
Give them, if it's like half a day, that's too crazy. Yeah, of course. I agree with that. But sometimes it's just too many people jumping on the same house. And a lot of times it's because it's priced too low.
Oh yeah.
It's too low. It's like there's a way to price it right. There's a way to price it below the market value, and there's a way to price it too low.
Yes.
And too low, it means your phone is blowing up. It's your fault.
Yes.
You should have priced it higher.
Yes. Not too high. But again, like you mentioned, it's the seller's decision.
But some sellers just listen to what you say.
Thank you.
You're gonna say, "This is my decision," and the seller says, "Let's go for it."
Yes,
because and then if you would have said something different, they would say, "Let's go for it."
100%.
It's a seller's decision, but they listen to you. That's why. And sometimes I tell the agents, like, if you listen to what the buyer tells you to write an offer, they don't need you. They need to listen to what you tell them.
Yes.
Because yes, this is their decision, and you will need to build it up as if it's they're making a decision, and they are making a decision. But it all depends on how you present it and what you're gonna say. Because if they just tell you write 200 on this one, you're going to say, okay, I'll write 200, but I have a feeling that it's going to sell between 215 and 220.
Okay.
So you tell me what to write. And they're going to most likely say, okay, do 210. But haven't you convey your opinion? You would have wrote 200. You write it once, you write it twice, you write it 3 times on the third property. And the buyer says, I have a wrong agent. I need to switch.
Okay.
And that agent is like, what am I doing wrong? I'm just doing what my buyer tells me. Because your buyer doesn't need you to tell you what to do.
Exactly.
They need to listen to you what they need to do.
Yes.
And then they make their own decision, but they need your opinion.
Yes. So you want to make sure you give them facts.
Yes.
Okay.
And your opinion, and you kind of have to get that information from the listing side.
If you can.
You're going to give it to them. And then you make a decision. Here's what I would do. You're the boss. Tell me what to do.
Okay.
And then they're like, okay. So I'm in the control. Thanks you. I'm behind the wheel. I listen to you. let me collect to my wife and see my husband to see what we think about. We come back, we're gonna do what you told.
Exactly.
Or something in the middle.
You don't want to tell them that your exact opinion, because you might be wrong about the price. You want to make sure you tell us about every possible term in the contract that could change the seller opinion, okay? And then listen, I think this property is worth that amount of money, but I strongly believe that people might pay over asking because whatever, it has more upgrades. But I've learned, do not tell them, because they ask you, so what do you think? What do you think how much we should do? I tell you how much it sells for, and it gives your best what's your best. Because if you tell them your own opinion and then your property don't get accepted.
You know what's worse? You know what's worse? If they say, we want to write 250, and you say, we can get it for 240, and you write 240, you don't get it, you're gone. Yes. Because they wanted to do 250. They wanted to go higher. God, yes. And you tell them, I think we can get it for less, and you don't get it, you're bad.
Yeah.
Another one is like some agents even afraid of presenting some other terms like as is, appraisal addendum, escalation clause, and whatever
you could do anything,
yeah, but they're afraid of saying that because they feel like they're asking for money from the client. And that's a mindset problem.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is that here are the tools that we can use. These are the tools that your competitors are using. So you pick what you feel comfortable. Let me explain you what they mean. You tell me what to do, but my job is to tell you what tools I got.
Exactly.
And we have.
Yes.
Because those are the people, and you could be competing against the guy who lost 5 houses, and he's notorious.
Yes.
He's going to use all the terms, and he's going to be coming in strong. You want that house?
Yes.
This is what they will be using. Tell me what you want to use. And also, you know what they also not going to use? They're not going to show that they have a down payment. They're not going to show their bank statements.
Yeah.
We're going to show.
Yes.
And we're going to be better.
Yes. Anything that you can come up with. Yes.
I learned that 2 years ago with the bank statement, the proof of funds. Everybody, hey, can you show that you have money as a down payment? We're gonna put 30% down on a contract. We need to back it up with proof of funds for the down payment.
Okay.
I slide it in with an offer. Oh boy, I'm on a top.
Also, I notice when you do appraisal gap, it's good to show that money too.
Sometimes price don't matter. The appraisal gap now is in play.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like too high, listing agent know, look, this is not gonna appraise.
Okay.
This number's bullshit. Look at the appraisal gap. Who's bigger? This is the one who's more confident.
I was actually having a interaction with an agent the other day. I had multiple offers on my listing, and I'm a very transparent person because I'm fair enough to everybody. And he provided a very good offer. I asked him, I've had other good offers. I asked him if the buyers are willing to do. And going back, when I got an offer from him, I said, we have multiple offers. Thank you for your offer. We have multiple offers, highest and best by this and this time.
Yeah.
And again, I'm giving it time. 30 seconds after, I sent an email. He said, this is my client's highest and best. I don't believe he had a time to call the clients and ask. Maybe they said, this is our highest and best. But buyers are liars. That's what they say. They might change their mind within a day. They might say, oh, we were thinking about it. We will be able to put our highest. So then, so I asked, are your clients willing to do appraisal gap? Because you guys giving us over what we listed for. No appraisal gap. Okay. And the offer didn't get accepted. And he keeps calling me and he keep asking me why my offer didn't get accepted. My client's been, asking, and I said, well, you've had your chances.
Yeah.
Your client.
You even gave him chance, extra chance.
Yes.
You start talking to him. Hey, here's what we will need, and you can kind of like, if we do it for you, will we get accepted? You almost extended your hand.
But to
do a deal.
My point is, a lot of agents do this, but I'm pretty sure you run into this situation when you called your buyer and said, hey, the agent told me if we do this and that, your offer gets accepted. And what your buyer said, not every buyer, but they say,
most likely they'll do it.
They're lying. They're trying to get more money out of the commission. You guys are trying to make more money. No, he is not lying. He's saying the truth. If the agent called and said that what we're asking, this is probably the truth, okay? And then when the offer don't get accepted, that's how they learn, right?
Depends.
Almost.
Some of them are gonna say, if they're gonna say, okay, they're gonna accept it, but they want 10 more thousand in appraisal gap. And
you give them and they don't.
And I would say most of the buyers would say, okay, let's go.
And then what?
And then they take it.
Okay, most of the buyers.
I would say so.
But you would like to hear from them.
But you know what the problem is with a lot of buyer's agents? Because the buyer told us 300 is our top, and the agent wouldn't go extra time back to the buyer. Hey, I have a feeling by how listing agent is talking to me, they're a little bit ignoring me. This is not enough. I think we gotta raise it. It's your decision, but I feel like we're not getting it. And I've done it many times, and then the buyer says, "Okay, let's go up 311."
Exactly.
310.
And even
I've had it.
Oh, exactly.
And then boom. Oh, listing agent is talking to me now.
100%. And think about that. Buyers, what's it called? Majority of buyers, they've been losing their first properties. Okay, it's a normal thing, especially when they're starting. All right, they want a deal. They don't want to pay over. They want a deal. And what happened? That you didn't give them
deals
deal,
right now. There's nothing deals. But everybody's overpaying.
It's about mindset, right? How much do you think we spent time on working on each deal, each offer, calling other agents, finding
that's
out?
crazy sometimes. Following up. Sundays are spent on the phone, on email.
Going through comparables, thinking about what would be the best offer, calling the agent don't pick up, calling again, reaching out to the agent, sending a text message, sending an email. Can you please answer the phone because my clients are the best clients? And the agent is hearing from every agent. But not every agent does this. Not every agent does this. Let me tell you something. Not every agent. They don't do their job.
You list properties and you're on the listing site quite a lot. So you can see what kind of offers coming in. 80% of them are just email, boom, that's it.
Yes.
No follow-up.
Even and they send email through that loop that you can't even open it.
Yes, yes, yeah, that's like crazy.
Like, can you send it to me in PDF?
PDF.
What I'm trying to
all
say.
in one file. Subject line talks about what's in there. You gotta make the life of listing agent easy.
And again, we don't make those money until we close. So if we would have put all these numbers of time, stress, how much we tried on one paper until we close, every house that we showed them, how much miles we spend on a car, probably the amount of commission we get paid, it wouldn't be enough.
I totally agree.
Right?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Some of those, sometimes when you're writing offers, your weekend is gone.
Oh yeah.
You can't even concentrate on anything else because you need to deliver the best. And when the buyer says, "I need to get this one," you're like, you feel like, oh, okay, now it's on me. I have to perform. Okay, but as when you have that permission from the buyer, I need to get this one. This is my house. I have to get it.
Yes.
Then you present and you say you have to be the best, and this is what the tools and terms. And still you don't have control over it because
it depends on...
You might be competing against somebody who's lost 5 houses again.
Exactly.
That client's...
But if you... And then you mentioned this in the beginning, like, and then you're just questioning yourself, what else should I do? I mean, there's nothing we could have do because we've done everything that we could have. But sometimes it's still not enough. But again, it's just about how much, we're putting into this work.
But a lot of agents are also afraid of making a call. They just do it over text, email.
Oh, no. You got to make a call.
You got to make a call.
You got to make a call.
Yeah. Even though I know you're getting a bunch of calls, you bombarded from other agents, but listen, this buyer is your dream buyer.
Yes.
You've been dreaming, you and your seller have been dreaming about this buyer. This is the buyer who's going to make your life easy. They're educated. They've seen what needs to be done in the market. Best lender on the planet Earth. I'll make this smooth. This will never fall apart. Inspection is going to be smooth.
Yeah.
Trust me. This is going to perform and close, and your client, you will never have to do it again. You won't have to cancel and relist. I promise you.
Yes.
And look at my track record.
Exactly.
I want to be able where I am without what I've done. And for new agents, say that too. Don't worry. They're not going to check your track record.
Exactly.
If they're going to check it, 5 houses already good track record.
But like I said, new agents, you say my company. We've closed that amount. Yeah. Use the third party, okay?
Yeah. Use it's the voice. Yes. Because on the listing site, I want to hear it.
Yes, you do want to hear it.
I want to hear it. And I'm very happy when I see somebody strong because I know that they control their client too. If they can control me on the line, they control their client because the agent who controls the client will lead it to the closing.
Yes.
Because it's not always you need to sell the house that buyer doesn't want. Of course, if buyer doesn't want, but the agent who is good, they qualify before they put in their work.
Yes.
So I'm sure when you submit an offer, you try to make sure that the buyer is 100% ready to go. At least 80% ready to go with the house. You're not going to be, offer, let's go, let's write whatever. Let's write. I need to write. You're not going to do it. Before you spend your time, you're going to spend some time with the client. You're going to make sure everything is ready. And then you go after listing agent. And the listing agent hears confidence and experience. They're going to 100% ready.
And you also don't want to ruin your reputation.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't have time to check. They're not going to check, but your email signature is going to tell a lot about you too.
100%.
The agents, they're receiving offers. They will see what under your email.
Oh yeah.
They will look top percent. You have it on your email.
Oh yeah.
Top 2% volume, things like that. You have to have it for sure. So brings you credibility.
Funny thing is, but yesterday, I was having a listing highs and best by 3 p.m. and I'm like sitting there and waiting. Why the agents don't calling me? Like, what about the lender? I mean, I'm expecting a phone call. If I have a buyer, I call my lender and I said, listen, you got to call the agent. I'm going to call the agent, talk to the agent, and you got to call the agent too. So this is my expectation, okay? I'm like, wow, it's quiet here. So it looks like nobody really want a property. That's what I say. So you want to work with the agent who is doing the best for you, because I'm expecting there's still going to be multiple offers. Let's see, interest rates going to drop a little bit.
Oh, this is going to be crazy. I think insane. We're going to be in the multiple offers for a long time.
Yes, because buyer needs a house. I mean, if I would be a buyer and if I would have to spend $2,500 on a rental property that I 2-bedroom, 1-bath, outdated every month, I'd rather pay $3,000 and have a nice property, house, condo. I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
for investors, it's good. Whoever is an investor, yes, go out there and buy multi-units.
I'm trying to remember this phrase. It's either Gucci or Versace said, buyers remember the quality a long time after they forgot the price.
Yes.
The buyers enjoy the quality a long time after they forgot the price.
Yes, 100%.
So about the expensive purses and things like that. I never had a buyer who called me after they bought and said, I overpaid. I made a mistake.
Never.
It's partially because the prices kept going up.
You educated them enough. Yes.
But the second thing is that they bought what they want and they enjoy the house. I'm walking around my house and I feel so appreciative of the opportunity to be able to close on that house. Okay. And I'm like, I have it. It's secured. It's mine.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I know that listing agent pulled $10,000 for me. He called me because my wife in front of him says, we really want a house.
Okay.
In front of the listing agent. Okay, we bought it 2 years ago, the house. Okay. And my wife says, we really want the house. Okay. So I immediately knew he's gonna milk me for.
But it doesn't work every time.
Yeah, but so we were competing in the multiple. Until we need this house. Here's my offer, and I'm sending full ask.
Okay.
Okay, but it's been sitting for a little bit, then it backed out, then it came back, this and that, and I'm sending full ask as is. He says, I'm gonna call you. You talk to your wife one more time, and let me know. And I said, we're gonna stay at this price. He says, think twice. And then I go, okay, I'll call you back. And then me and my wife talk, let's give him 10 more thousand. Oh yeah. And then he says, congratulations.
And you're a real estate agent.
I think he would. I was still the best probably even at the full ask, but I still gave $10,000. And it's okay.
I mean, he gave you hints. He gave you hints, and if you would have lost
I think he pulled that extra 10. And if I hadn't given him an extra 10, it would still be my house. But I don't care.
But you're not 100% sure.
I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. And I don't care. Even if I overpay $10,000, that's fine. I have the house that I wanted.
Exactly. And another thing, that's what I tell buyers. $10,000, if you subdivide it for 30 years, it's nothing. It doesn't change your monthly payment a lot.
Plus, it's going to get back to you within a couple of months because the market's being grown. But again, market can take a turn, of course. But it's all about your payments, like you said.
Yes.
If you're comfortable with monthly payments, that's all that matters. Also, with investments, you have to not only count on that the price is going to go up and the principal is going to go down. You have to make sure the cash flow is there because when things start taking a turn, those who have cash flow survive.
Yes.
Because they can pay for bills and then keep the properties. Those that don't have cash flow, they have to unfortunately go for sale.
Yes.
And then they sell for whatever it sells for.
I agree 100%. There are some multi-units, they've been sitting on market. And they have, let's see, rents, lease signed until 2025, and they're asking for 3-bedroom, 1-bath, $900. I mean, there's no cash flow at all if you don't pay cash.
Carolina, this by far has been the most enjoyable podcast I've done. I can tell right away why you're top producer.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it.
Okay.
A lot.
I actually did
Carlos,
too.
this was one of the longest ones, right?
Really?
We're an hour and 21 minutes.
You kidding?
This was
My
really
phone was blowing, okay?
Thank you very much
No problem.
for coming on.
No problem.
And
I
we'll
thank
link
you
your
for inviting
information
me.
on the bottom if anybody wants to get a hold of you. Maybe some
Awesome.
people that are looking to buy and sell it. You're in the south side, yeah, right?
Suburbs, south suburbs,
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
On that note, thanks so much for watching.
you.
Subscribe, comment. See you
Like.
next time.